Kia ora Pisces, welcome to the channel Tarot by Amber Sun. Today I'm going to be doing your reading, your general messages for June 2022. These are general tarot messages, so they won't resonate for everybody. However, if the storyline does fit you, please feel free to leave a comment, like and subscribe to this channel. So Pisces, for the month of June, your messages. So you have the Judgment and the Ace of Swords. That was your first two cards to pop out. And so Pisces, I see that there is going to be, in the month of June, a huge reawakening, a huge rebirth, a huge emergence of yourself. This is quite a deep reading, only because I'm feeling quite emotional, and so I haven't had this with the other readings. And what's happening for you, Pisces, if this resonates, there's a huge shift inside of you that is basically you're in the space, coming into a space, an energy where you are now able to see very differently the past. You're making peace with the past in a huge way. You're making peace with the past in a way that you now understand why you reacted to things, why you were in certain situations, why you chose and made your choices and decisions in the past, why you put yourself in situations and made decisions that ultimately were your choice. But it's like now you're coming into this truth of yourself and this clarity about accepting the past and understanding where you were at that time and why you did the things that you did. And I'm not like saying that it's all negative and you made mistakes and whatnot. It's just that now you're highlighting, those things are being highlighted to you, and you're like shedding them. You're ready to heal because you're now accepting them, and you're able to look at them very clearly from the place that you are currently in, which is truth and clarity. And it's this beautiful, so the Judgment was clarified by the Five of Cups, okay? Five of Cups is when we regret the past. And I feel like there's some regrets that you were holding on to and mistakes. And now you're able to accept them because we're only human, right? And we can only make decisions based on what we've learned. And I feel that you're making some peace within yourself in June. And so this clarity with the Ace of Swords, clarified by the Wheel of Fortune, this is a cycle in your life that is now closing out. Making peace with the past, making peace with past mistakes, with past regrets, with whatever you held on to emotionally, and you're like unbinding the chains that you held on to. Then you have the Nine of Wands. That's, in this deck it says strength, so it's because you've had this inner strength. And I feel that a lot of you have been through a lot of challenges in your life emotionally, and this has affected your mental decisions, and so your emotions and your mind are very closely connected together. But you've held on and you've battled through, and you're not going to give up now. In the month of June, you can rely on that strength that you built up from those experiences, and with this rebirthing, that's going to be what you hold on to, is the strength. You don't have to hold on to the hurt or the pain or the regret from the past. Then we have the Six of Swords, which talks about like moving away from past situations that are no longer working for you, because they held you back and they closed you off from clarity. I feel like this clarification of the Eight of Swords with the Six of Swords is you were holding yourself back. You thought you were keeping yourself safe in this little bubble to protect you, but it protected you for a little while, but then, you know, you have to grow and learn and expand, and you kind of didn't, because you kept this shell of protection around you, thinking it was protecting you, but after some time it becomes like a little prison, and you kind of keep yourself confined to doing things a certain way, to putting up with certain situations. And when you keep thinking that your protective bubble is keeping out, you know, the bad guys or the negative emotions or whatever it is you're protecting yourself back from, you actually stop yourself from experiencing the beautiful things, the positive things, the new experiences, the new emotions. And so that's what's happened here. And with the Six of Swords, you're now moving away from that bubble. You're popping the bubble. This woman is stuck inside a bubble that's holding herself back. The Six of Swords is popping the bubble. And it says science in here, so I also pick up that there's been certain ways that you've been doing things, methods that you've always relied on that always kind of come out with the same result each time. And now you're realizing that they're not working for you, and you need to come up with a different method, because you want to experience new things. You want to have new ideas that you have been holding yourself back from. So this whole realization thing is happening in the month of June. You have the Ten of Pentacles, which says wealth. Ten of Pentacles is about commitment, family, feeling like stable in the place where you are, rooted but happy because you have a sense of belonging. And that's really nice for you, Pisces. You have the Prince of Cups or Princess of Cups, clarified by the Page of Wands and the King of Swords. This is also telling me you're now ready you're unlearning what you've learned in the past. And these are the things that you kind of have automatically gone back to. So like if something is triggering you, if something triggers you, you respond in the same way, which leads to you taking action in the same way that you would have done. And it kind of happens over and over again. You're no longer wanting that same result, because it always ends up with the same result, right? And so this triggering, this is just an example. You're now unlearning what you had learned, and because you see that it holds you back. And so you're now open to new ideas, new passions, new plans, experiencing new emotions. You want to experience and expand new things. And so in the month of June, you are going to, the messages to relearn different methods of communication in your relationships, so that you get a different result, a better, newer result. Relearning, it's like you're in a space now where you can go back to school, maybe literally, but I'm talking more like within yourself. You're now open to new experiences and relearning about life about how to deal with life, about how to make different decisions in order to get a different result. You're open to learning in the month of June, and that's really beautiful. And you're going to be approaching it in a really logical way, not in an automatic way. So when you're triggered, you automatically respond. Now you're in a place where if you're triggered, you can see the clarity of where how you used to respond, and so you now want to try a different way of responding, and you're going because you want that end result of a different experience, Pisces. Okay, and you're doing it in a way that's really logical and calculated and scientific with that science card. And so it's a really cool process to see that you're accepting and making peace with the past. You understand now with this clarity of the Ace of Swords that how you used to respond to the world, to people, to situations, is always giving you the same result, and you're not happy with that result because it was holding you back from experiencing new things, and now you're ready to experience and learn and grow, and you're doing it in a very logical, thoughtful, scientific way. I'll just say scientific because there's science there. But what am I going to do now? I'm going to pull out any other messages for Pisces. I know that was a lot. Hopefully I was able to articulate that correctly. I'm working on it. I'm learning. Oh, this is sweet. It's the Star card. I don't know why, but I just feel like I want to cry with this reading. The Star card is about healing. It's about coming into the light. It's about growth and inspiration. It's about hope. I think you've been hoping and wishing on a star for change. And this is the change that's happening. I suppose this reading could be called change because I see change here for you, Pisces, in the month of June. And it's in a really beautiful way. Self-love is accepting your past and looking towards the future with hope, letting go of what held you back, coming to a clarity that it was you that was holding yourself back. It's a hard one to get over for some people, for a lot of people. It's hard to accept that you were the one that was holding yourself back from growth. But you were coming from a really good place because you thought that you were protecting yourself. And for a short time, the methods you used to keep yourself safe were working. But then after some time, it stopped and it became your self-imposed prison. And it stopped you from growing, from learning, from experiencing new things. But because your mind hadn't quite accepted that you were holding yourself back, you couldn't move forward. You were always getting the same results, always the same situations, always attracting the same kind of people, always going through the same emotional patterns. But with the Judgment card here, you're ready to rebirth. You're ready to pop the bubble of self-imposed limitations so that you can reach for the stars. You've seen the star, you've been wishing on the star, and now that star is coming down to you and pouring this beautiful healing, nurturing, and you're filled with hope for the future. And that's really beautiful, Pisces.